Just before I get into this video, I wanted to mention this at the start. I didn't want to put it in a separate video, but I thought I should tell you since it's pretty important and will more than likely affect zombies going forward. But Treyarch announced over on their Twitter page, as you can see from the tweet right here, that Jason Blundell has left Treyarch. They said, "We wish to thank Jason for his many contributions to Treyarch. We've enjoyed our journey together and we wish him the very best going forward." And the actual message from Jason says, "After 13 fantastic action-packed years, I am moving on from Treyarch. During my time at the studio, I've been privileged to work on a variety of projects, wearing many hats along the way, with my time on the Zombies team proving to be quite special. It's a team comprised of some of the most creative and talented developers in the industry, many of whom you never see because they're behind the scenes, shaping the direction of each experience. Clearly, I'd be remiss if I didn't personally thank the group that continues to make it all worth it, the Zombies community. Your passion, enthusiasm, and frankly your craziness has been a continued source of inspiration. The beauty of Zombies is that it's always been about the interaction between us as a developer and one of the most passionate player communities on the planet. These are memories I will cherish for a lifetime. The team at Treyarch has been nothing short of awesome. Thank you. And thank you to the fans for giving me the opportunity to bring life to the undead in so many wonderful ways. The honour has always been mine, Jason Blundell." So Jason has left Treyarch. There were rumours like this that popped up a few months ago, around about the time of the Alpha Omega release. It turned out that they weren't true, but this is official from Treyarch, so what does it mean for Zombies? Clearly, it is going to continue. As most of you will know by now from the leaks that we've had, it is rumoured that Black Ops 5 is coming out this year. Treyarch are the main developers working on it, and then I think it was Sledgehammer Games that are assisting, or some other developer. I'm not 100% up to date on leaks, but of course Zombies is the staple of Treyarch. That is their third game mode, so you can expect it with their next game. But with Jason Blundell leaving the Zombies team since he was the head, it's pretty obvious that there's going to be some changes. Jason Blundell and Craig Houston are basically the final line, I guess you could call it. A lot of what we saw in Zombies over the past few years, BO2, 3 and 4, was Jason Blundell's idea. We know the storyline especially was Jason and Craig, so since Jason, being a massive part of the Zombies team, has now left, of course you could expect a new brain to come in, or maybe just Craig's gonna do it himself, but you would think someone else would take the role of Jason's and give their creative ideas on Zombies, because we don't know where it's going. We don't know if we're getting a reboot of the Ether storyline, just continuing with the Chaos, or getting a totally new one. We're not 100% sure, but I think we can say, without Jason Blundell, that means a new brain is coming up with the story for Zombies. And that was probably the perfect time. He pretty much became the head of Zombies halfway through BO2's life cycle. He worked on Mob of the Dead, and then properly started working on Zombies and Origins. And you can actually tell that because that's where the story took a big turn. That's where characters like Dr. Monty were first starting to get introduced, and then the whole story after that, BO3 and BO4, we had the Apothecans, the Shadow Man. The story was totally different from what we saw in World at War and BO1. We could see Jason Blundell's influence, so if someone does take Jason's place, or if it's just Craig doing it on its own, we can assume Zombies is going to take another turn since it's someone different coming up with the main ideas, not only behind the storyline but the maps and the gameplay. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I mean, it totally depends on you. If you enjoyed Jason Blundell's take on Zombies, I know some of you didn't, but I'm definitely interested to see what Treyarch are going to bring in the future, so I just thought I'd let you guys know. But anyway, let's get into the Q&A video. So what is going on, guys? I am Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another Zombies video, where today we are back with a Q&A, the series where I take your questions from the comment section below to do with the Zombies storyline, Easter eggs, and I answer them. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to drop a like rating, make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest content, but let's get into this. Here we go, and enjoy. So the first question of today is from Lotus Hyper, and you say, "Hey BOA, do the cultists wear the mask so that the artifact doesn't affect them?" And to that I would say yes, although it's not necessarily to do with the masks, it's more to do with the symbols that are on the inside. If you go to the 9 ending cutscene, we can see here as the High Priest puts his hand into the prime materia, it begins to circle him, goes up to his face, but it doesn't affect him. And as he takes off his mask, you can see his face is scarred, but the symbols on the inside of his mask protect him. They stop him turning into a zombie, so that's the reason why the cultist members wear them. And we also see a similar situation in the Dead of the Night intro cutscene, where once again the prime materia is circling the place, turning people into the undead. However, Godfrey draws these symbols around him on the floor, and when all of the characters stand inside of it, they are immune to the infection. So it wasn't really these gold masks that were special. It was just that they had symbols that would stop them becoming infected. I guess they could have just drawn circles around them as well, but that would be pretty inconvenient having to stay in one location. So there we go. The next question from Simon Ghost Riley says, BOA, who are the people singing in the Perco machines? So I don't think there's actually people inside of the machine singing. I mean, they'd have to be very small and very thin. But if we listen to each one of our perk jingles, I'm not going to play you every single one, but the voice on each and every one of them is different. It's not the same person singing every jingle. Also, these voices don't sound familiar, yet in Revelations there is a wisp from Dr. Monty where he says this.
The minute you people teleported for the first time, you changed the rules. How am I supposed to keep track if you keep moving the pieces? Even when you were just a little problem brewing in the far corner of existence, I tried to throw you a bone or two. I told you this, didn't I? The magic box of weapons, the little clues here and there. I always tried to give you a little help, without drawing too much attention to myself. The thing is, though, I can't just magic things out of thin air. I have to manipulate things that already exist in your reality. Like the perk drinks. They were something originally cooked up by Group 935. I just used them for my own ends. I honestly don't even know how they work. I swear. As for the songs, don't get me started.
So Monty tells us, as we already knew, he's been helping our characters throughout the zombies timeline. He's been giving us things such as the perk machines. Although he didn't necessarily create them, they were originally made by Group 935 and other groups. He just used them for his own ends and, I guess, assisted. And then right at the end he says, as for the songs, don't get me started. So clearly Monty had something to do with the perk jingles, and there's even more evidence for this in Revelations because we actually hear him singing them.
When everything's been dragging you down, grabbed you by the hair and pulled you to the ground, if you want to get up, you need a little reverie. Oh shit, I completely forgot. Alright. Quite disgraceful sometimes. If you want to get up, you need a little revive. Yeah. Yeah. All right. When they need some help, they reach for the root beer shelf. You're thirsty, partner. It's gonna be fine. I think. I hope. Yeah, it'll be fine. Your hands are slow. Your movements sluggish. Your lack of speed just brings you anguish. Just take a sip. You will move faster. Just try it now. Speed is mastered. Press those lips against the only one that really moves you. Speed. Cola speeds up your life. When you need some help to get by, something to make you feel faster. Wait. Voracious. Is that better? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. What was it again? Reach for the juggernaut tonight. Sugar seduction delight. When you need to feel big and strong, reach for juggernaut tonight. Nice.
So those are some of the OG perk jingles being sung by Dr. Monty, or should I say, he's attempting to sing them. Yet when we hear the actual versions of these jingles in game, they sound nothing like Dr. Monty. So is this telling us that he actually sings all of the Perk jingles? Does he maybe use a voice changer? Because none of them actually sound like him. That would be my best guess, or maybe he's just messing around here. We're not too sure. We've never actually been told this. I guess you could say this is our answer right here, which should mean that they were sung by Dr. Monty. It's just kind of weird how in-game, when we go up to the machines, none of them actually sound like him. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comment section below. And the final question from Brendan Bobby says, hey BOA, where do the robots go in the map Origins when you can't see them? So we know in Origins we have the 3 robots patrolling the area. They come through the map from one end and then leave through the other end in a straight line, yet a few minutes later we see them reappear again in pretty much the starting position. So, as you say, where do the robots go when we can't see them when they're out of sight? We know these are the same robots, they're not different ones because they have the same name, Freya, Odin and Thor. We know they were built by Group 935 to help these Central Powers win the Great War. They were created by Dr. Maxis and Dr. Richtofen using Element 115. Origins itself takes place during World War I. There is a war going on at this exact time, and so the robots have been put up to roam the area and to protect them. And we see when they go from one side of the map to the other, just as they're going out of view, it's almost like they go down a massive hill. That's definitely not the curvature of the earth, but we can just assume they go into the fog and circle back around. And so guys, there we go. That is it for today's video. As always, hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, you know what to do. Drop a like rating, make sure you are subscribed, and we'll see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.